chasing stars and holding you. I can't see the end, but we'll see it through. Dangerous times, don't fly too high. Be sure to keep the ground in sight. Fly forever if you keep it tight. Love the world and keep the sky on your mind. Get on board. We're soaring on top of the world. Get on board. We're soaring on top of the world.
Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome into a special edition of Flying with Mike. We are planning a nice little hop here to see what we can. Hey, DB Vetter, how's it going? Welcome in. We're going to see if we're going to break it today. Not only did X-Plane 12 update to 08, got some, well, I watched the video from Austin. Interesting stuff under the hood, so to speak. If you've seen the video, you know where I was going with that. But also, I found out ZIBO has, in the last day or two, released again, just about every week they do this, update the ZIBO aircraft. And we're going to try something in it. Not sure it's going to work. Just thinking something's missing. I need to get in, find some documentation, figure out possibly what did I do wrong. Haven't tried it out yet, folks. Plus, we have a new FedEx livery. As you can see, this one's got the windows blanked out and ready for action. So I hope you all enjoy the ride. We are leaving the Super Hub here in Memphis, headed over to Wichita, Kansas. Just a short hop just to see how things are going. So hope you've all had a great week as we pushed over the hump, headed now towards the weekend again, folks. Amazing how that works. So, and we're into my favorite time of the year, folks, the Christmas holidays. So I am just loving it. And as I say every year, folks, don't ever forget the reason we celebrate this great season, and that is the birth of Jesus Christ. Oh, I know Thanksgiving's in there too, but you know, we're thankful for that event that would occur a month or so afterwards. So don't forget that, folks. All right, so ZIBO sits on the line. Let's get up here and see what kind of damage we can do to it. Again, we're flying for FedEx Virtual. Let me go ahead and send you a link now in case what happened to all? Oh, there's my text. I'm like, where'd all my text go? Ooh, it's going to be one of those kinds of flights, folks. You gotta love it. Oh, man, still not responding. Okay. All right, so the nighttime and the sim and everything is just coming together to make this for a fun flight. Okay, we'll just do that. Maybe? Yes, no? Okay, this is how, if and when it will let me, you'll get a hold of the ZIBO. We'll try in a few minutes, see if we can't get FedEx to come up on there. Wow. Woo. So hang on, let me just kind of swing over here. I think we're doing pretty good on frame rates, especially for nighttime. All right, so let's pre-brief this while we got a couple of seconds. Well, actually, you know what? We'll hold off for about a minute and a half. We'll get into the pre-brief going from Memphis to Wichita, Kansas, and that way we're all on board and we can all enjoy ZIBO, because I'm pretty much at the top of the list here on the checklist. So we're going to go right through it. May get held up in a couple areas. That's, you know, what we're liking right now with a new version. So let's see what we can do. See you in a couple seconds, those of you that end up in a break. All right, for the rest of us, nothing really standing out other than you go to the next page, click configure. Actually, where was I? I was in something, and I have no idea what the heck I was in. Is it up here? No. I have no idea. I got into something here, folks, that was a little bizarre to me, and now I can't find it. So, oh well, what a way to waste a minute while they're in commercials. Anyway, all right, well, we're going to go ahead, get things going, because I am seeing my laptop commercial free, and let's get this thing set up. Oh, Memphis Center came up. I was wondering if that's what was about to happen. Now we're in a break. All right, so we'll get some toolkit up here. And let's pre-brief this, shall we? And folks, really, if you do miss some information here, no frets at all. We do have a YouTube channel. It'll come up from time to time. Check it out, folks. We'd love you to head over, check in with it, and subscribe and all that good stuff over there, so you can join our family there. In case you missed something here, you want to go back. What did he say? What was that? What? YouTube is right there for you. So, all right. So here we are on SimBrief. This is what I like to call, folks, the one-stop shop for planning a flight. You've got a lot of tools, hence Sim Toolkit, over here, from flight planning to schedules. If you don't have a clue what flies out of here, boom, right here it is, folks. You got your logbook, your fleet, the whole thing here, folks, really. And then down below you can add in things like NavGraph, SimBrief, if you so inclined and use it, as well as DATIS. DATIS is a neat little tool. It kind of allows you to get a bird's eye view. Well, I'm not sure if, let's see. Let's go ahead and open it up real quick. Not sure if Wichita has it. Nope, they do not. They would be on this list. Also, you would know they would be on your charts. It'll say DATIS in the upper left. But anyway, let's say they did, we could right now pull up DATIS and find out what the actual ATIS transmission is to pilots as they come in or out of Wichita. So, and that's good for getting you forward thinking as you're heading across the country, or in this little short little hop we're going to do. All right, so right now here, as we can tell, Memphis Center is up. It's green. They do have an ATIS on VATSIM, so you'll see it here. And the winds are 190 at 10, gusting up to 20, 10-mile visibility, and it's clear. All right, great. We now know the weather. Oh, and we have the altimeter. Okay. Bear with me, folks. Sorry about that. Did not want to yawn in your ears and ended up doing so. All right, so we're not worried about ILS approaches or types of approaches inbound. We're worried about getting out. Simultaneous departures are in use. The real one's a little different than this, but hey, we'll let VATSIM be VATSIM. You can use runway 18 right, 18 Charlie. Real world ATIS has all three runways. Okay, and again, they want you to operate mode C. We'll talk a little bit about that, I think, when we get moving. Taxiways and runways, again, simultaneous approaches. Bird activity, okay, we're stretching it there. And wing turbulence separation standards in effect, meaning they are a little closer than normal. So, and I don't get this last one. All aircraft CTC, is that contact? Ground control for pushback on the November. And this I've never seen begin before, so we'll kind of get a glimpse what's there when we get over to it. All right, let's look at the METAR in Wichita real quick, just so we have an idea. 360 at 9, 10 miles of visibility, and a few pesky clouds at 5,000. The ceiling as of right now, 6,500 feet. We'll see what it is in about an hour when we start getting closer. 17 degrees there, and it's 29.94. All right, and finally, yep, get rid. Oh, wrong one. Sorry, folks. Meant to click that one. The loadout sheet. Get a good laugh. We have no people on board. It's all take that, add, times it by 100 and whatever. I'm not sure what each person is in ZIBO. The standard out there is like 190 to 200 now, I think it is. But anyway, the number we're worried about is 36,570 pounds of payload, yielding us this 131,349 pounds zero fuel weight, which we are planning to add 15,326 pounds to the aircraft in fuel, which will bring us up to 146,000 pounds on the ramp. Phew, a lot of information there, isn't there? Today's cruise, 32,000 feet, and we'll be doing it at a cost index of 35. So, pretty good run all in all. We're planning 18 right. Let me get that route up here for you, if the computer will play nicely. I doubt it will. Let's see here. All right, there's the route, and it'll also pop up from time to time out here. So, not with Cyndi Lauper singing it, but just it'll come up every time to time on the stream. All right, let's get rid of Sim Toolkit and let's get going, shall we? Hello, aircraft. Gonna stay off. Felt like I clicked it twice. Good, it is. All right. Our checklist. Like I said, we are currently powered up on the ground power. I believe we fueled up. I'm going to double check. 7.6 plus 7.6. I think that's like 15.2. And we were scheduled for 15,003. So you know what? I think we are fueled up. Let's do another check just to be safe. In the payload box here, 15,326 pounds of fuel is indeed loaded, so we're ready to go. Just leave that screen there. All right, coming up next, we are on standby powers on guard. Hang on, let's come up here real quick. Actually, we'll just do it this way. Your battery switch is on. Your standby power switch is both of them on and guarded. Cabin IFE on. Your supply and exhaust equipment cooling both in the normal slot. Equipment, emergency equipment, lights. Let's try that one more time, folks. Emergency exit lights are armed and guarded. No smoking lights on. And that was because we were fueling, and we'll keep it on for the duration of the flight. We got it on ground power up here. Walker can crank up his AC/DC music in his house. because we just set the voltage on the AC/DC switch. And moving down, fuel pumps are off. And what else we got to do here? Window heats on, probe heats off, and anti-ice off. Currently, the hydraulic system, that is this gauge here, your engines on the outside are off. I'm sorry, correction. They are on. Obviously, they're not running because there's no engines running. The inside ones are your electric pumps. They are currently off. Trim air's on. Forward cabin, cabin and aft cabin all set. In the auto position, recirculating valves auto. Recirculating valve auto. Packs auto. Isolation valve open. Altitude of our climb added. Alright, let's get up top to the very upper panel. Okay, the radio is set. All it is just a radio switch. Your EECs, electronic engine controllers, both are showing on. These two lights here, folks, are your engine reverse indication. They will light up when we're obviously in reverse thrust, which we are not. Over here, let's test the flight recorder. Light goes off. Good. Mach airspeed warning test, number 1. Number 2, stall warning test. And number 2. Oxygen guards down and normal. Plenty of oxygen. 3 green. Gears down, 3 green. Dome light off. Service interphone off. Surfaces tested. ELT is armed and guarded. Now, what I do, I'm going to kind of slow down here. Let y'all catch up here. All right. On your IRS, we're going to start the alignment process. First step I do is I take the display selector and put it on heading status. You'll see why here in a second. Today we'll run left. Let's go to align and align. You want to see the 2 on DC switches on or lights on. Now we're in align. Let's go to nav. The reason I like heading status, this 7 up here, that's how many minutes till we're aligned. Okay, back down to the middle. Okay, we're on. Let's check our cross feed real quick. Should get a light.
79 at the go down.
Come back. Should be off. Perfect. Fuel pumps are off. Welcome in, Bad Attitude. Hope you had a great day yourself. Light switches are set, and I'm going to head down to the middle panel now. And which one do I want? Ah, there it is. And what that switch here that says lights, that turns all the light bulbs on. So you're making sure everything's lit up. Okay. All right, let's just begin the process for our FMC. We got a little ways to go on this. By the way, Bad Attitude, you're going to kind of like what they've got added to the plane now on the 737. Okay, so we just bring it up. Here's your important data of telling you when your FMCs will need to be updated. Mine is on November 29th, so will yours if you use Navgraph. And no, it's not with, well, I don't know yet. The takeoff one so far on the EFB appears to be like we're used to. Get ready for when I get finished here. All right, let's see. We're at KMEM. All right, now for our IRS reference. What I do, again, this is Captain Mike here. I go to the next page, look at my GPS. Today, we are on an even day. The left systems I do on the odd days, the right systems I do on the even days. So click that one, go back, plug it in. There we go. Noticed anything different yet there, bad attitude? I'm not giving any hints. For this flight, it really doesn't matter. But that's something new right there, folks. That's something you guys had told us. Flight factor in X-Plane 12, you know about. I can't find out or find where I set the data up yet. That's why I said I may have to go hunt the manual down to get it. But we're gonna try it just for the heck of it. What the heck? That's what this is all about. Request, it'll probably say, eh. If it doesn't, I'm gonna be really shocked. Or it's not gonna do, ooh, wait a minute, data uplink error. I kind of figured that, folks. Oh, I wonder if I gotta go into here. So one thing I did not try. Let's work on the other one. Oh, that's cool. All right, that didn't do what I wanted, and CPDLC isn't doing what I wanted. There's another. Like I said, looks. We try index. Hang on. Or no. Nope. Okay. It's not working. But boy, thought for a second we were gonna. When I first saw it, I thought for sure we were gonna have some fun today. But we'll do some digging around and see what we can do to figure out how to make that work. All right, so we are going to be FDX811. If it even means I'm even tied into the ZIBO Discord channel, I can check with them later. The good thing is we can always do it the old way, folks. Go to next. And we'll just do it this way. I had a feeling something like that might happen. All right, so here's our flight plan, folks. Real simple for us. It's INAYO to HUSKA. So INAYO to HUSKA. HUS. KA, I believe. Hang on a second. I've already gotten past it. If you would just message it to me, bad attitude, and I'll get it for the next flight. I'm already obviously past that point. For the cruise winds. Oh, hang on, let me finish up here. What am I at? Departure is, what did I call it? Oh, I lost it. Hang on, my cheat sheet. Nikki 5. And we are going to use 18 right. Back to. All right, folks, hang on a second. We're gonna. I need to download an XML file. Okay, I will. Yeah, I'll pick that up for the next flight. That's getting to be way too much here. I can do a lot with the wind right now. We'll just click in here. Planned fuel 15.3. And our reserve for today. All right, let's go back to Sim Toolkit because this is where I really love Sim Toolkit on this format. Second, it didn't come up. Hopefully I clicked in the right spot. There it comes. All right, we're just going to bring up the OFP because it's real simple, and this is what's called LIDO format. So when you go into SimBrief, it's a free application on the net. All you got to do is register, folks. This is, when you set it all up for your airplane, what you get without clicking any of the OFP formats. Okay. I like this one because it really helps out. What I use for that reserve, which is where we were in the FMS, right here, my final reserve, which is what them people in the FAA want us to be at. And what we need, of course, we need to get to our alternate today, folks. I mean, in case the weather's bad, something's happened on the airfield and we got to divert, we got to be able to do that. So so we got to have the fuel to the alternate, and we got to have 45 minutes of fuel. You can thank the FAA for all of that. But again, it's always nice to have extra fuel when you land and not pull into the gate and all of a sudden the engines die. That's always a bad thing. All right, so we're looking at 6.8. I drop the final numbers. However, I'm rounding up because we have an 8, so it's why I've got 6.8. All right, so that's what we'll throw in there. The other ones, it gets hard to explain because you can't really see it that simply. Cost index, what did I say today was 35. And cruise altitude 32,000. All right, for the cruise wind, SimBrief once again through Sim Toolkit could be looked up. I'm just going to get it. Maybe he says. Where's my browsers? Oh boy. Yeah, we're going to have fun with this today. Not even going to ask how it got over to there. Very interesting. The gremlins are alive. Don't feed me after midnight. If you haven't seen the movie Gremlins, shame on you. One of the great 80, 90 flicks that released. Great highlight. It was funny. One of the few movies that actually made me laugh. 245 at 57. 245. Diagonal. 57. Doink. And I'm sure that XML file we saw Bad Attitude alluding to, that would probably help us here. Perf request. That'll probably be the same, won't it? I'm sure it's going to say, not a chance and you know where. Yep. So that's cool. At least there's things for me to look forward to. Execute N1 limits. We can always do it the old-fashioned way. And that is, let's pull up to good old Top Cat. I say that cautiously, and as everything has been going today, it is very slow. Okay, there's our airplane. I'll get it up here in just a second, folks, as soon as things once again calm down on the computers. Wow, can't imagine why. I know why I'm running. I need to restart my machine. Will do that, Mr. Bad Attitude. Hey, I just got too far along that I just wanted to get going. So that's one thing to look forward to. Performance and route requesting. Again, TOLUS folks and flight factor folks, A320 Airbuses and A319s and what have you, all have that feature. By the way, did I get? I did not. .com. Oh my goodness. Hey, there's Top Cat finally popping in for us. All right, so let me just go to the weight balance page. We're going Memphis, Wichita, Kansas City. All right, today's loadout, I just need, we'll go to 131.3. So somewhere into 131.3. Try to put this up. All right, so you're going to be that way. Okay, drop back to 7. 131.6 there, and that'll put us into 131.3. Perfect. Fuel, 15,326. Taxi is 500. And I need Sim to get quick. Our fuel burn trip is 75.34. These numbers I try to get right with the fuel so we get an idea, one, what we'll have remaining, and it really helps with this part. All right. So you can see we've got our CGs, our max over here. Got our weights ballpark pretty close. Let's go to takeoff. Update right off the bat. Okay, I'm showing 210 at 8, 10 miles clear, 24 degrees, 2985. Okay, sounds good. It's good here. So we got a dry runway. We said 18 right. We got a headwind of 7, crosswind of 4. That's what this is telling us. Okay, that looks pretty close to our takeoff weight. We're going to go with whatever the system comes up with for both flaps and thrust. We'll have the air conditioning on, and I don't think we need the anti-ice. Okay. Here's the runway information. It's 9,300 feet long, heading 180 with a slope in it. So we are going to put that in. You've been able to do this for such a long time, folks. I don't care which sim you're running. If you're on PMDG, you've had this ability. Just don't want to do it, most people. Okay, so when we click compute, this is what we got. So we can take take a look here. This is really cool. It first off is telling us we're going to do a derated takeoff 2, flaps 1. Now, let me slide this over a little second. You can see the parameters. Wait to see how it, there we go. All right, so you see the takeoff 2, takeoff 2. Boom. Next up is flaps. That's on the takeoff page. We'll get to that in a minute. Next up, we want our select temperature right here. There's our outside air temperature, but we want it to be 37. What we're doing is instead of running this engine at takeoff 2, the maximum N1 pressure would be 93.2. Okay, that's how much pressure would be on it. Now, if we go to takeoff, okay, up to here, you'd be at or slightly above 100%. Yeah, I know you physics guys out there going, you can't go higher than 100. Yeah, you can. And they do when needed. They just don't do it a lot. Wear and tear on several million dollar piece of equipment on the aircraft. Conceivably, mostly the biggest investment on the aircraft, those engines. So they pull the power back a little, enough to get off the ground and enough to climb, saving that little bit of wear and tear to get that engine to its scheduled maintenances. Because believe me, folks, I don't think you have a couple $1,000,000 burning a hole in your pocket. Okay, maybe our moderator does, but everybody else I'm not sure of. Hawker, I couldn't resist from our conversation earlier today. And I know the part of it I'm not going to get into, but yeah. All right, I'm going to stop here for a second, and I'm going to pull TopCat. I'm going to head over to the EFB, and we're going to try it one more time. Fuel, performance, takeoff. Okay, so we're going to be on 18, right? Oop. Hand off that. Dry runway, wind 210. I think it said 9, but we got a gusty wind. Double check here. No, it's not saying anything about gust. 210 at 8. I was off by 1. Enter. Temperature 24. That I do remember. Enter. All right, now for the barometer, 1011. We'll just do it in this format just because it's there. Enter. Takeoff weight, estimated 146. Oh, that was not what I wanted. Sorry about that, folks. 146. Point, just go with that. Okay, optimum, ATM's good, flaps 5, air conditioning on, none of that. CG, now I'm showing, I'm going to try something here. Bear with me, folks. Here, 20.3. Nope, we're still not getting that triangle. Doggone it. Oh well. Good thing is we do have TopCat. Alright, so let me get back here. Kind of position it in a way we can see. Okay, and then slide it over again. Okay, and bring TopCat in. Maybe the computer lets me. There it comes. All right, for the most part, that'll show up. If not, we'll make sure we'll kick it just one notch. There we go. All right, so let's go ahead and begin to fill this in. You're all wondering, well, why don't we see anything here? Well, you don't have a flap setting. Let's hold that thought for a second. Okay, let's go to page 2. Next page. Okay, we know the runway wind. It's 210 at 8. Okay, we know the runway slope. Point, it's up 0.4. Hang on a second, I want to make sure I'm reading that right. Up 0.4. So we put U 0. And I will say I finally learned how to do this, folks. Compliments a bad attitude. Thank you, sir. That is such a great. I love putting all of this data in. Then we need the runway heading. So you go your slope either up or down, slash, and then your runway heading. All right. The next thing is, are we on a dry runway, wet runway, and all? Folks, that helps it to give you even better information. So, what did I do? You really don't want to know bad at it. No, I want to thank you for helping me out getting the how to put the slope in. That really helps. I really love having all that information. Appreciate you. Okay, there's our D rate, and there's our outside air temperature. Now let's go next page back, doing flaps 1. All right, there's our information right here. Once it gets in here and in the big numbers, that is set in the computer. So, looking here at TopCat, look at that, V1, and rotate right on the numbers, we're off by 1 on V2. So we'll just click, click. I'm just going to set it to 153 and be done with it. And guess what, folks? If you go QRH off, that's what this column is. It goes away. And you're done with the FMC. Just that quick, folks. Then I'll click FMC here and put legs in. All right, so, and let's finish things up here, shall we? Let's get the APU on. Right here. Okay, and GT's coming up. I hold it down for a 3 count, folks. Oh, you're not seeing this. Stand by. That loose nut is loose behind the wheel again. Okay, once it gets down, settled into about 5 to 4 here, we're going to get a blue light saying our generators are ready to take over. APU generators. There they are. Stable. Boom and boom. Come back up here, make it a little easier on your eyeballs. All right, and let's get that left-hand fuel pump on. Switch this to APU. And then we'll turn the APU lead switch. I'm just doing a quick confirmation. I have everything ready. Cruise altitude set. Okay. Then we come back down here. The switch, well, no, not that switch, my bad. The fuel flow switch, which is right here. Just want to click it up to reset, and that'll put our fuel flows to 0. Okay, all that's left, set the middle control panel here. Okay, our V2 is 153, so I'm going to set it for 163. 180. And as much as I know I'd love for a direct climb, I don't think we're going to get that, folks. And our flight director's on, and okay, and finally, all right, we got to set our arrow to 400. And the altimeter. 2985? Does that sound right? Pretty doggone close, I'll say that. Just gonna check here. Zero, 5, half hour old, so okay, I'll go with that one. All right. And there you go, folks. We are now ready to roll. Yes, I saw that with Austin too. That was amazing how they're where his thinking is on this sim. And that's why I fly X-Plane, folks. He is dedicated to making it as real as the real world is. The scenery, you know, you can argue all you want. When you fly these birds, you're in flyover country, folks. I don't care where you are in the world. You're flying over the scenery. The only time you see it is on approach. But when you take the time to build the dynamics in the aircraft up like X-Plane is, to me that outdoes any flaws they have in the scenery. There isn't many. My only thing is iconic, I call them monuments, but iconic symbols for the towns. Now we do have the Gateway Arch. That's a classic one, but and the Eiffel Tower. But there's others out there. You all know them, like Mount Rushmore, and a few others. That would be nice, but is it for me a no burn? You know, a no sale? Heck no. So, but anyway, yes, I'm on board with that. Can't wait to see if I can find out how to simulate that. All right, we'll get that. Okay, so we are ready to fire up, folks. So let's get some doors closed. All we do is come over to home, ground services, get the staircase up. Everything's getting closed. Now there's a way to tell. Your door panel is right here. You're on APU. I'm going to come back to ground services, disconnect. Now if you screwed up, folks, and it wasn't on the APU gen, well, the whole airplane would go dark right now. Alright, it happens. I've done it. We've seen it too many times to count. Alright, finally, let's see. Minimum baro set, landing gear levers down, 3 green. Speed brake lever is down, flaps up. And our engine start levers, which are these two, all the way down in the cutoff position. Parking brake set. And folks, it's time to go fly. I do want to check thing. One of these FedEx liveries I downloaded today doesn't have the seats back here, and it's not this one. Darn it. So it's the other one. All right, we'll try that one another day. All right, so we're ready for engine start. My cursory check here. Memphis is online. X-ray. 210. 5. Okay, so X-ray. Alright, so let me get me a flight plan in here. Okay, 0130, let's go 50. Bear with me, folks. I'm just getting this in. Memphis, we're hoping for a good run with her. That looks good. File it. Okay. X81. Say Bravo 737. Ooh, it's not 738. Okay. Last but not least, don't forget the ACAR system. We have, folks, quite a bit. Uh-oh, well, there we go. So don't tell me we're having troubles again. Oh. Oh boy. Come on, you computer. And downlink. All right, and we'll head over to the main page and click start. I said start. Then double check. I may be the only one online. Huh? Okay, one more thing I want to do before we get into talking to center or tower. Gotta look. I think I said both are up. You're all interested in flying for one of the, there's a couple of iterations of FedEx out there. I actually like this one over them. They're a very good group. They got some rules, nothing anyone can't handle. They're really great software they use. It's very basic software. It's not like you're gonna get with some of like the American we fly and others. It's very nice, easy to use stuff. So check them out if you're into a FedEx operation. We've got all the aircraft, the historic ones, and for the ones that aren't available yet out there, there are aircraft you can substitute for them. So really, they aren't as overly strict on you as some virtual airlines are. So give them a try. Always check them out first, folks. Don't just blindly go in, sign up, and go, oh my God, they want me to do what? Fly upside down with my hand on my nose and covering my eyes and try to land? What? No. Seriously though, folks, they're just always check them out before you sign up to make sure you're good with them. All right, and speaking of which, wow, there's a lot of centers out, but Memphis Tower is 119.7. Okay, we're going to explain this radio thing down here in a second. 970. Okay. All right, real quick, it's not hard, folks. You're going to be setting the bottom radio. So right now, let's go ahead, set in Memphis VOR. Okay, and I got to find it because I think it's 117.4, it's 117.5. It's close, but not close enough. Okay, so that's all you got to do. Type it in. Pretty simple, right? And like always, click up on it. Now, let me bring it back down. Now, could have it as a VOR. Could have it as an ILS. You could have it as a GLS. So make sure you're on the right one. If you think it's complicated, that's the hardest part of it. The rest of it is just like any other radio. You just put your frequency in and go. Hey, I got a PDC already. What do we got here? Call sign, equipment, okay, departing, okay. That's good. Our route's good. 327634. Folks, this is kind of a I set the back numbers first. You want to know what 7600 is? There we go. 7600 is Nordo, I believe. Add attitude, you can yay or nay me.
Walker 3117 12108 RNAV Ribs, runway 18 left, clear for takeoff. RNAV Ribs, clear for takeoff, 18 left, Walker 3117.
Okay, we're going to go ahead and get charts up here real quick too, so we can get going. Send here. Charts, where are you? Sorry for the system being a little slow today, folks. All right, real quick. Sim brief. There's our flight. Okay, it's done a lot of the hard work for us right there. Okay, there's our departure. All right, so when he says RNAV2, he's RNAVing either to here, to certain points on your SID. So kind of know where you're going, so you know when you get you RNAV it to there. Okay, as you can see, I guessed correctly. Did he give us an initial? Think of it. No, he did not. Okay. Departure, INAYO transition, maintain 5. There it is, maintain 5,000. All right, this part will really explain when we hit the runway departure frequency, the 132.55. Let's go ahead and plug that in. Because what we'll be doing is switching to departure once airborne. Or if he tells us on the run. Go. 32.55. Okay. And then in the ATIS, it told us
Walker 3117, contact departure, correction, contact center 132.55. We'll see you. Alright, over to center. Have a good night. 3117.
Alright, so we are onto November or Juliet. Okay, well, I'm not going to worry about that. I'm just going to call for it. Alright, so departure brief. Alright, so what we're going to do first, taxi. Right now, we're hoping to just... I have no idea where
Memphis Tower, Jet 420, right for taxi. Blue 420, runway 18 right, taxi via November, Mike 9. Taxi runway 18 right via November, Mike 9, Jet 420.
Okay, so they're coming from here. Anyway, we're going to taxi wherever he tells us. He may tell us 18 center, and if so, well, we'll take 18 center, do what we have to do. Okay, then we'll get airborne, direct Cheeto, Mudho, KICT, Lawrence, Nikki, INAYO. He may even say direct INAYO. We'll see. But anyway, that's our routing, and there you have it, folks. We're all plugged in, ready to go. The thing I have, got my heading set, and I want to set... really hate when I do that. All right. Okay, one last look around the plane. Chocks are in. Let's do it. on, system. Work a little faster. Work with me here. There we go. All right. Memphis Tower, FedEx 811. Request pushback and start.
FedEx 811, FedEx 811 Memphis Tower, push at your discretion, call for taxi.
Roger, we'll call for taxi, FedEx 811. We do, by the way, have X-ray.
Roger.
All right, that's our cue, folks. Let's get better pushback in here. Those of you
Ground to cockpit, please show me
curious
where you want to go.
about X-plane, this utility
For
here.
420 Arnav Roads, winds 210 at 8, runway 18 right, clear for takeoff.
This program here is free.
Arnav Roads,
And
runway
you could
18
do a
right,
lot
clear
with
for
it.
takeoff, 20.
Ground to cockpit, tow is driving up.
All right, start them up. Select electric panel E on. Beacon fuel pumps on. And before we can start the engines, we'll turn the pack. Well, we can go do that now. Cargo's not going to argue with us. Just waiting on him, and I'm going to go ahead and chuck the chocks. Now my checklist says to start the yaw damper. I'm going to wait until we get pushed back.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed, ready to connect.
Cleared to connect. Face us south, please. By the way, it's not voice activated. If you were able to pay attention, you can see he's raising the nose up.
So connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
Brakes released.
Just
Face
with 420 contact center 132.55, we'll see you. Contact center, have a good night, JetBlue 420.
Okay. We are clear for engine start, so we are going to start them. Again, to start the engines, I advise put your fuel pumps on, but I don't think it's an actual requirement in the sim. Packs, though, have to be off because you've got your bleed here. Need all that to bleed, and then I'm just going to go number 2. Then I'm going to go number 1. So pardon me. And we're waiting for 17 on here percent to 25, and then you just take the fuel lever to idle. Then you'll see it start up here, and we are turning the engine. Okay, we mentioned this 10-minute deal before you release the brakes. Okay, what they're telling you to do is climb to 5,000 feet. 10 minutes later, go to 32,000 feet unless they tell you to. Okay, so if say you get out there and nobody's talking to you, 10 minutes later, when this clock right here reads 10, boom, take her up to 32,000. All right, so we got number 2 started. Let's get number 1. Valves are open, and we're spooling up past 15. There's 17.
Operation complete. Set parking brake.
Brake set.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
At around 50 down here on N2, you'll see the valve here turned off, I think it is. I'll look up there when we get it. It should be turning any, there it goes. And then you'll see the next valve turn off. And we're up and running. Hey, let's say goodbye to the better pushback people. And let's get going. Okay. System A. AC/DC. Boy, Hawker's just having way too much fun with this music today. What a Gen 1.
Tow is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal will be on the right. We'll see you next
Packs
time
back.
and have a great flight.
Thanks for flying with Mike. They're better pushback. We'll catch you on the return. Isolation valves open. APU bleeds off, and let's get this one on. APU can now turn. Finally, we're ready to taxi, folks. Flaps 1, auto brakes reject, and anything. Oh, and let's do a quick make sure our surfaces are good. There we go. So we're just going to look at the needles right in here, folks, telling us ailerons and our flapper or spoilerons, elevators, and rudder. Look left, right. Downwind Sim, welcome aboard. And a quick hello back to you. Okay. Back to engine and blank. Alright. Tower FedEx 811's ready to taxi from FedEx.
FedEx 811, runway 18 center, taxi via Sierra, Bravo, cross runway 27 on Sierra.
Alright, FedEx 811 copies Sierra to Bravo, cleared across 927. FedEx 811. Lights on, here we go.
FedEx 811, runway 18 center, taxi via Sierra, Bravo, cross runway 27 on Sierra.
FedEx 811, sorry about that. I had my screen active on a different one. I apologize. We're taxiing Sierra Bravo to 18 center, crossing runway 27. Hey, at least X-Plane 12 puts people in the chairs, folks. I told you folks he was going to probably change it. And we got Mac 2237 over to the UPS bins. Alright. Hold short 1 area. Alright. Let's do our quick pre-takeoff stuff. Engine starts continuous.
Flight attendants prepare for takeoff, please.
Okay, 27's right in front of us. FedEx does use this runway quite heavily. But today, obviously, we're not. Reject takeoff, runway turnoffs, ATC, TRA. Hang on real quick, get that over. Go weather here. Rain there. gotta remember where Bravo is. Okay, got a little ways to go. And heading bug. Okay, so VNAV and LNAV. Auto throttle. And tower FedEx 811 will be ready to go upon reaching.
FedEx 811 RNAV Cheeto, winds 2108, runway 18 center, clear for takeoff.
Okay, RNAV. Alright, FedEx 811, RNAV Cheeto, clear for takeoff, 18 center. Okay, remember how I told you we're going to be basically flying the course 214 to Cheeto, but pretty much get on the autopilot pretty quick. Alright, let's get those strobers on. Okay, it's the second switch, but you got to take it all the way up to get the strobes on. Let's go ahead and bring the lights on. Now you're all wondering, where's the other two switches? You got to think it's the halogen lights that bring those on. Okay, one more thing to do here. Center lined up. Go, timers on. Timer. That, by the way, folks, is what's called toga.
knots.
That's not what I wanted to do, but since we did it, we'll do it.
E1. Positive rate.
You're up. Sorry, folks. Gotta fly it
400.
before we can play. Direct Cheeto. I'm at
FedEx
1,000.
811, contact Memphis Center 132.55. We'll see you.
13255 FedEx 811. Thanks. Memphis Center, FedEx 811 off Memphis through 2500.
FedEx 811, Memphis Center, elevator contact, let me take level 320.
320 for FedEx 811. Did that. I hate when it does that. Okay, let's get our landing gear off. Alright, auto brake off. Piano flaps. Coming up. And engine starts, landings, we're good. Welcome to the air, folks. One thing I'm not fond of at night.
American 2953, contact Fort Worth Center 135.17.
It's kind of hard to see sometimes. Alright, we are climbing out, folks, for 32,000. Alright folks, again, hope y'all are enjoying. I think took us an hour to get off the ground. We'll take an hour probably to get there, and I forgot to put the overlays up. Hang on a second. There we go. That way you all get an idea of what our flight time is. Notice it right now, 1:28. It's going to drop drastically, folks. It's not going to take us...
20 center taxi via Bravo Kilo, cross runway 31.
So, you'll see us under an hour real quick. And since some stream elements continues to play havocs with us,
The seatbelt sign will be switched off shortly. However, for all safety, we recommend that you keep your seatbelt loosely fastened in case of any unexpected turbulence. We have an excellent team on board today. We are all happy to offer you any assistance you may require throughout the flight. Our in-flight entertainment has begun.
yeah, it's that guy up in the cockpit. Alright, we're gonna kind of back things down a little here. Alright, curious how this... Alright, let's get some lights off outside. We're above 10,000. Okay, let's see.
Memphis Center, good evening, Giant 366, flight level 410 inbound south. Giant 366, Memphis Center, good evening.
Sorry to have blown your eardrums out, folks. Here, you know what? Let's do Hawker's favorite view. I prefer flying them in the daytime so you see the aircraft better. But, you know, FedEx is pretty much flown at night. So we'll do that. My favorite, we'll just do this. All right, we're through 14,000 folks on our way to 32. How oil cooling works. Yeah, folks, if you have not seen this, I am going to point you to this because it is really fascinating what Austin got into. Hang on a second, I am doing this such the hard. If you head over to this link, and I'm going to do it this way only because it's a heck of a lot easier for you all to watch it on your
Delta
own.
28, you can taxi via Tango 4 Sierra 7.
You'll get
Tango
what we're talking about, where X-Plane's headed. And it's really fascinating. Oil coolers. Okay, we all know on a piston airplane, just like a car, you have two like radiators up there, one for your tranny, one for your engine. Well, you don't really have radiators quote, quote, on most general aviation piston aircraft. You have a heat exchanger right up at the cowl where the air comes in and cools the oil as it goes
420,
back.
contact Atlanta Center 132.907.
In a jet, they don't
Contact
have
Atlanta Center, have a good night, thank you,
such,
General.
again, a quote-unquote radiator. They take the cold fuel.
Delta 2018, wind at 1809, or fly runway heading runway 20 center, clear takeoff.
Turn him down.
Okay, fly runway heading, clear for takeoff. 20 center, 2018.
Don't think I can, but let's see. Never know until you try. And I don't see a volume. Anyway, that fuel, as you get into altitude, is cold. And they'll run it through this exchanger, which will heat it up to help it better interact with the engine and the combustion chamber. At the same time, it's cooling your oil, because your oil gets really hot. So, but again, that, folks, is the most simplified version of this doohickey. That's a great aviation term, doohickey. It was really neat to listen to the whole, bit on what they're going for. Tires, engines, the whole 9 yards. So check out that link, folks. It'll really get you going. Did I do it justice enough there, Hawker? And folks, I'm not a jet mechanic or pilot of a jet. I only flew Cessnas, Pipers, and what have you in the small aircraft arena. And that was probably 30, 40 years ago. So, long time ago. So, all right. So, now, the one thing with Boeing, they have us blank this out in the checklist. As I think I can comfortably say in speculation, if a problem arises in a specific system, it pops up here. Ooh, but I am really speculating, folks. So I've never ever been up in the cockpit of one of these things in flight. Love to, but have not. All right, let's check our time, because we've only been 10 minutes in the air, folks, and we're already under an hour. And we were an hour and 28 as we came over Cheeto. See what I mean? As higher up we go, the faster we're getting. You said an XML file, huh? Bad attitude. Let's take a look here at Sim Brief.
Yeah, Memphis Center, Delta 2018 with you, leveling off at 4,000. Delta 2018, Memphis Center, apologies, you're ready to contact. Turn left heading 090.
I've got to find
090.
the
Delta
manual
2018,
for
climb
this.
maintain level 320. 090 and up to 320. Marker 3117, cross
I just
and
got
Bell,
to figure
maintain
out where to put it.
10,000.
That's a wide open
Cross and
question.
Bell, maintain 10,000, Marker 3117.
All right, where are we in reference to Kansas City Center? Again, folks, hope you're enjoying the flight. We are cooking through Memphis Center here. We'll come out at just after Fayetteville, before Bartlesville, Oklahoma, and we'll be in Kansas City's turf then. And right now, there's no center. Who knows in the next 5-10 minutes. But for now, folks, we are cruising along at 24, almost 25,000. On our way to 32. If you like what you've seen and heard, hey, smash that follow button. We'd love you to come along with us. while we were at work yesterday, Shot of Doom followed us. So folks, feel free, come aboard. We'd love what you get when you click follow, folks, is you'll get an email letting you know the next time we're online when we click that live button. Also, you can kind of predict it. Down below the video there in the About section, you'll see our flight schedule for the week. We only have one more scheduled. There could, but I'm kind of skeptical, there could be another one on Saturday, but we'll kind of play that one by ear.
Bill 2018, clear direct to Sarah. Direct to Sarah, 2018.
So, but anyway, thanks again for being a part of Flying with Mike. If you're catching us on the replay where we're not live on YouTube, hey, we'd love you to hit the like and subscribe so you know when our next video comes out. This will be coming out soon. Tomorrow's video will come out later. Well, I don't know when I'm going to have that one released yet, when we get it done. So, because I like to see what aircraft are resonating with the audience and then plan accordingly. Also, I'm a little remiss here. We had a request for a flight to Jamaica in a Caribbean Airlines aircraft. Any of the Caribbean Airlines aircraft. So we're going to look up some airlines for it and be looking for a Jamaica flight on coming soon. It's right up Hawker's territory, flying down in the island hopping. Now you get a little idea why I don't like nighttime flying on the sim. I prefer it to spend daytime. But I thought we'd just give it a run. Pretty close to the time it usually flies out of Memphis for Wichita. I looked it up on FlightAware. Alright folks, so we are now standing 41 minutes out. And we are working our way that way. Go ahead and bring charts up while we're still climbing. Let's take a look at our arrival possibilities here. First off, ETAR as of 1:53. Find out how that's stacking up. About 15-minute old or so. Currently, see it right here, 110 at 10, gusts to 18. Now there is a way they're working with right now to take that gust factor and plug it in, and it's basically like halving it. So we're talking a 110 at 19. I'm still trying to wrap my head, because I was never trained anything with gusts, which is really bad when you think about it. In a small plane coming in, you're already at like your landing speeds are anywhere from, depending on plane, 40 to 60 knots, and now you're dealing with gusts. Ugh. It is a recipe for disaster. They have begun trying some things out, and I don't fully have my head wrapped around it yet. So, we're getting there, though. So, 10 miles clear. So, we got a pretty good arrival planned.
Water 3117, contact Indy Center 119 point, I'm sorry, it's going to be 119.55.
And altimeter's 3,000. Okay. So with those kinds of winds, folks, Runway 1 left is perfect for us because we're going to get off and go right to cargo. It's right at the end. Select. We have an ILS, we have an RNAV, and another RNAV. Now, what's neat about this program, folks, here's HUSKA. So, we have a couple of options here. We can go direct to final for the ILS, or we can go to NESD and do the RNAV. I think I'm going to do the ILS just because it's nice to be backed up with it. But you can see how you can choose. So, ICT or the RNAVs. We'll go final. Okay, and then it closes it up too. So now I know my heading straight up here to CFBTF.
FedEx 811, I'm going to be closing in a few minutes. Early handoff. Kansas City Center is offline. Frequency change approved. Have a good flight.
All right, thank you, Center. FedEx 811 copies over to Unicom. Have a great night.
Jet 366, send me to Chesney to arrival, runway 20 right.
That's me. I sound like that quite a bit, folks. All right, we're on our way, folks. We've been handed off to Unicom, which means hopefully the radio will be somewhat quiet. All right. Back to our, so from HUSKA to here. So let's look at it, shall we? And if you notice what this lovely program does, not all of it, but most of the time you'll get your Cat 2 and your special Cat 1. Okay, and this one is only different with slightly different minimums. Not much, because it's Cat 1. Alright, so here it is, folks. Okay, if you remember at the beginning I talked about D-ATIS. This is where you would say it. It would actually say D-ATIS. We don't have that here, so if you were to tune this, it would come in. I don't know what setting I need to set to be able to make it work on VATSIM. Works perfectly fine when I'm off. Approach, tower, ground. Okay, very simple. Now, our localizer. We will have to tune this in. Why did that do that? Huh. Interesting. Okay, so we'll have to tune the localizer 109.1. We'll put the final approach course 016 in. Okay, Cheeto. No, we're not going back to Memphis, but that's kind of funny. Chito. We're going to cross Chito at 2,924 feet on the glide slope. Happens to be here 1,600 feet above the ground. A little over. Okay, our minimums. So the next one over. 1,514 feet above sea level, or 200 feet above the ground. Same dot in the sky, just how you measure it, either from sea level or from the ground level right below you. This approach, you all can read that, but it's basically we'll climb 3,000, hang a left over to Wichita, go into a hold. Until they see fit to let us come back. And no, I'm just kidding. 18,000 obviously is transition. And yes, simultaneous approaches are authorized. Hardly ever seen here at Wichita probably, but nonetheless they are authorized. So we're going to come right in here, pick up the localizer, travel in. Okay, we're going to come in at 3,000 feet. So we're going to plan our descent to match 3,000 feet there. We'll do that here momentarily. Finally, again, 3,000 feet, Cheeto. Right here is that 2924, and then we're going to descend with it for the runway. before we talk about my favorite graph here, ALSIF 2 approach lights, that's really intense lights. You're going to see them more than likely. That's why they're there. So you guys have, we have as many approach lights as we can to see the run. Then our missed approach. Why I tell you this is my favorite graph here is very simple. Our approach speed's going to probably be 140, 150-ish, somewhere in that ballpark. This is right here to maintain that 3-degree glide slope. It's kind of either, if we're at 140, it'll be 743 feet a minute. Say it's 150. We'll have to kind of gauge it between the two, and it'll be about 800 feet a minute-ish. This one takes it another step further, telling you times from Chito to missed approach point. That timer goes off, you don't see the runway, it's go around time. A lot of factors could be going on here. One, you're not tracking down the runway. That has happened in some places. Or just it's just the ceiling came down quicker and whatever. So you'll execute missed approach and head over to, in our case, Wichita and hold. All right, now the minimums one more time. Now we're including visibility. Again, 1500, 14 feet MSL. So we'll look at this here in a second on the aircraft. But the other is 200 feet above ground. Right, I was looking in the chat room. Sorry, folks. Visibility wise, now if there's an RVR report, it has to be 18 or higher, or a half mile, statute mile higher. If it's below these numbers, we're not supposed to shoot it. Or if you're Cat 2 certified, you can then proceed over here, where now we can come down to 100 feet and an RVR of 12 feet. I'm sorry, correction. 14 and 100 feet AGL. I guess that is, RA. I don't know what RA stands for. Totally honest, it slipped in my mind. But again, it's pretty much the same as here. Alright, let's get back to the plane here. Okay, so you can see we're coming up on Fayetteville, so we're getting close to top of descent. Let's get rid of charts. And there's the invite, folks. I know, Hawkers, it's stream elements being stream elements. Okay, one more thing to do here real quick. Now let's get over here to the EFB. We haven't really talked a lot about it, but here's your weight and balance. Your payload, we just put the number in, you click here. You can fill these out if you want. I actually used to do that. It was kind of fun, but it's very time consuming. Or come down to payload, click on it, and type it in. Same thing with the fuel. Alright, so let's go back. We're going to go to the landing. Okay, we're coming in one left. Wind. 010 at 10. $16. Okay. Now, if you saw me, what you got to do here, folks, again, click on it, If you want it in inches of mercury, that's great. Just make sure you type 30.00 and then it'll put it that way. No, we're not doing flaps 40. We'll do flaps 30. Air conditioning, yeah, on. Anti-ice off. Will be on medium. Let's go 2. And everything else stays. Now, I'm crediting 5 knots for this landing. For the approach speed. Just to bump it up a little so I know what we're dealing with. Alright. Okay, now we're dealing with runway 1 left. It's a 10,302 foot runway, 150 feet wide, heading 016. Just waiting on things here. To kind of complement 138. Is that what with? $138.6. Now that's what we were looking for on the takeoff, a triangle, so that way we could proceed to page 2 and what we're going to have. So 145 is our VREF speed. We'll need 33,024 meters. I know we're all going, this is the United States, we're not in meters. But anyway, you get a feel for it right here. Plenty of runway. Alright, so the big number though, 150. Alright, let's take a look here and get our arrival plugged in. Okay. Again, we're going HUSKA to CFBTF. We're programmed in here in the box. Put this on program. We're 131 miles out of our top of descent by the box. Now, I mentioned you can actually do this yourself. So we're coming down from 32,000. So drop the zeros. So 32 minus 3. 29. Okay. Times that by 3. 87. So roughly 87 miles from CFTB is when we'll be talking, descent. Right now we're talking there's an airplane out here. Nighttime they can be very easy to spot with the lights, but I'm not seeing it. Where's it at? It's right here, by the way, folks. 1,000 feet above us. Okay, we're still out of range. So, over in this sector is an aircraft. Let's see if I can get a read on where he's going. I think he's coming at us. Yeah, I think it is coming right at us. He's 1,100 feet up. we've disappeared from sim. So, or what's up with that? Oh well, we've disappeared from the Similware maps. TCAS. Right there. Alright, so I don't know why we're not on Similware, but yeah, we're about to have conflicting traffic. In fact, we should be able to see it now. Not sure where it's hiding. Wondering, are we actually online? According to TCAST, it's now behind us. Huh. Oh well. Not sure what's going on here. We got that weird... Yeah, reboot, like we dropped and came right back, or something happened. I don't know. Hey, drop offline and come back on and see what happens. Give it a couple seconds. Did I just close the program? I did, by George. Tell me if it's right. That's weird. Alright, let's see how that works. Alright, well, we just reconnected, so on we go. Don't know what happened there. And welcome to VATSIM, folks. It happens. Alright, so like I said, we had 137 miles to go. Let's do some fun in here, shall we? I'm going to use this one for now. Let's go to D-Link. Figured that one's not working. Okay, we got off. Oh, this is cool. We got off the ground 8:49, 9:09. Huh. Pretty interesting. Of course, we can do our requests for weather. KICT. Click and send. Message. 110. There you go, folks. You can look at it right here without having to go to SkyVector or AirNav or whatever you use to get your weather. Pretty cool. Now they mentioned other abilities, and I don't know where that's all at. All right, so we are on our way. And folks, I hope you all are enjoying. Thank you so much for taking some time tonight to join us, be a part of Flying with Mike. Sure, great to have you aboard. Feel free. You've seen it a million times up there. I'll do it again. Let's see. There's an invite to our Discord channel. I'm going to be talking with Bad Attitude after the flight. More than welcome to join in. You might learn a few things, like I'm going to, about the ZIBO aircraft. Folks, this update put a lot of interesting stuff into place, some of which I'm not finding. But that's just because I really haven't had a chance to dig with it. But again, hope you're enjoying, and look forward to seeing you tomorrow's flight. Much like today's flight, except we're going to be in the Flight Factor 767 sporting KC-46 colors. That's right, the Air Force newest tanker going to take up. However, you know, it's painted, but it's not like the tanker. I can't drop the boom, do refueling, or any of that for Sim Air Force, but we can fly it. So we'll have some fun with that. We're going to go from Offutt to Altus, so and go from there. So I hope you all take a chance to join us. We'll be taking off. Well, we'll be starting the stream. You get that corrected after 1600 Zulu. So somewhere between 1600 and 1700 Zulu. For us in the Central Time, if this will help you in the calculations, U.S. Central Time between 10 and 11 o'clock Central U.S. Time. All right, looking over things, you can see our top of descent is now projected approximately 40 something miles out, actually saying in the 50s still. So, which I'm kind of oh, okay, that's right, that would make sense. So we're getting closer. Let's begin the checklist for that. Alright, so descent, we'll get the altitude set. We'll use the, here, we'll just show it so you all can see how we're going to do this. There's a couple of ways you can do the descent. Once you have your altitude set here, you can use altitude intervene. You can also, and again, it depends on the FMC you select in settings. You'll either have all three buttons like you see here, climb, cruise, descent, or it'll say VNAV. Either way, get on the descent page. So you would click VNAV and then page till you get to descent. Descent will look like that. Now, a couple things here before I talk about the descent, how we make it work from here. I think you've figured it out, those of you that are much smarter. But I do see a lot of fumbling around for where do I set my transition level. That's if you were in Europe, that's if you were in South America, where that changes sometimes airport to airport, or at worst, or at best, country to country. All you got to do is click forecast. Put it right there. And I'll bet you it's going to say I can't reduce descent winds. Try. Never know. Data uplink error. And that's because I don't have that XML. And that's basically because it doesn't know whose SIM brief account to go to. Alright, but anyway, you would change your transition level here. United States, it's flight level 180. Germany, the ATIS will tell you, and its flight level a lot of times 070. And then it'll fill in your winds if this works. Now, right here is where you would start that descent if you hadn't figured it out yet. You just click that line select behind the spoiler button right here. See, really does exist, and that'll start your descent. But there's two ways. Any more gets a little complicating. Alright, so we're within 40 miles. Over here says 35 miles to top of descent. Let's go ahead, set 3,000. And I do try to keep my heading, folks, on course. Just in case when we set the FMC, sometimes when you set a star and the next fix is in the star, it'll do a 180. And you'll hear it on VATSIM. My FMC's all screwed up. Stand by. Just click heading select, put her back on course, figure out what's going on. Piece of cake usually, folks, or a discontinuity came up and your airplane was supposed to turn and it's still going straight. It happens, folks. It's happened to me. Nothing to get overly excited about. Just get it in the heading select on the current heading you're on. Assess what you need to do to get on course. Look at your FMC GPS, figure out what happened, and set the direct to the next fix, and the plane will turn to it. Alright, so now we're about 20 miles out. So again, I'm going to use the descent intervene right here. I'm sorry, altitude intervene. Also, folks, speed intervene. Exactly the same as this, where you're telling it to begin to go to that altitude. This will allow you to set what speed you want. Alright, we are now 20 miles out. We're going to go ahead and start that descent. Okay, you know your descent is on. There's your descent marker right there. When that gets down here, it's just like your ILS glide slope indication. Just like it. When you get right here, you are right on profile for the descent, making whatever the FMC altitude constraints are set at. It's also going to slow to 0.676. And then once it gets to that altitude where 280 is visible, it takes it to 280. Excuse me, folks. Ugh. Another interesting thing you can do with the 737s, both PMDG and ZIBO. Here, before I get into that, do you all know the big difference between the two? I'm going to take it because I hear crickets in the chat room. It's cost. I could hear the other sim going, "It's because PMDG is so much realistic." Haven't noticed yet? They're operationally the same. ZIBO has some features that PMDG doesn't have, and PMDG has a couple they don't have. Up until the last month or so, PMDG did not have an EFB. They do now. So just to give you one difference. The big difference, though, between the two, you're going to pay an arm and a leg just to get the sim for that other side. Then you're going to pay another arm and a leg, and maybe your spouse or your best friend or whatever's arm and a leg, and maybe even someone else to be able to afford PMDG. Oh, by the way, they're getting ready to update that sim to the next version. So, like we went from X-Plane 11 to X-Plane 12, well, you're going from 2020, whatever year it'll be called. Ouch! Already gonna pay that one. Oh, and PMDG is gonna take those arms and the legs again from you. That group back. ZIBO, thank God, is free. Let that settle there. Some of you got to pick yourselves back up. For the same level of quality, it's free. I know, that's gotta hurt. So, to me, same level of quality, expectations in the sim, arms and legs spent to get one, download, install, free. Add to it, as Hawker indicated, a better flight model. I'm sorry, folks. That's why I don't go. Now, don't get me wrong. X-Plane does have pay-where aircraft, TOLUS, Fearless, and rightly so. Folks, I am not going to knock them because they're charging us, because they're doggone good products too. ZIBO just took it upon itself to be free. Now we also have a 747-400 from Sparky. Last I checked, it was free, and it is beyond PMDG. So there you go, folks. That's the only discussion I will do between the sims. We all have our reasons for being where we are. Most of you on the other one are wrong, but just kidding. No, sorry, couldn't resist that one, folks. But anyway, you get the point. Still cracking myself up on that one. But yeah, you choose, folks. I choose to keep it in my back pocket and have a better flight model for not spending as much as that. So, anyway, let's get back to having fun and not poking fun at whichever way, going. Alright, so HUSKA stands 40 miles out, actually 35. But you can see the arc. That arc is how the descent is going at this point. We're on profile. Wind will make 3,000, and look, right where we want it to be. Thumbs up. Thumbs up. All right, so let's get into the descent. Okay, we're now through 23. Go ahead and kick the wing lights back on. We never turned the seatbelt signs off, but we're going to verify they're on. Oh, we did. Okay. Auto brake. We're going for 2. All right, we're coming up on transition, folks, in 4,000 feet. We'll see you guys that follow and are just popping in, checking us out. Hey, appreciate you. See you back here after the break. All right, and for you, the subscribers who don't like commercials, thank you, though, for your subscribing. We appreciate it so much. I am starting to look at a new aircraft, and I still can't wrap my head around the one I want. So we are working on it, folks. Trying to increase what we see here from just the 727, ZIBO, 747, the 767, the Airbus products we have, Caravan, C-130. All of those we're looking into and looking at an additional aircraft. So, but again, none of that thinking, and I'm also still in the entertaining process possibly of a weather platform. I remember Active Sky very well. That is in the back of my mind too, as is you guys are going to have to XP Environ or Environ XP, however it is. I'm looking at those two big time, but some comments earlier before this video came out from Austin has me kind of on the fence. Is he going to be working weather here soon to make it more realistic here soon? I don't know. All right, there's our transition. So welcome back, all. Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, we have the Airbus 11. You're all going, what the heck's an Airbus 11? Stand by. Just make sure. Okay. And finally, let's set our 200 on. That's on Barrow. Doggone it. I did it wrong out of Memphis. I didn't catch that. Alright, there we go. Alright, so we're set to radar altimeter of 200 feet. Alright, what is an Airbus 11? Well, folks, if you ever purchase an MD-11 in the flight sim, I know TFDI, I think it is, or is getting ready to release one here in the next few days. Or you go to Rotate, TFDI for Microsoft, Rotate for X-Plane. A lot of people say it's very complicated. I'd say to them, it's actually not. Once you understand you're dealing with an aircraft that's not a Boeing. It was never built by, quote, quote, Boeing. Boeing acquired it in the purchase of McDonnell Douglas. McDonnell Douglas designed and built it. Boeing got to enjoy it. In the cargo, airline guys really weren't too fond of this plane. I don't really know all the reasons behind it. But anyway, if you can fly an Airbus, you can fly this plane, folks. Look at that overhead panel. It's not exact, but you're going to go, that's not far off, though. But you look at that FMC, FMS, McDo, you're going to go, gosh, it really does look like a McDo. So, that's why I call it an Airbus 11. Get people's mindset that, yes, you can fly it. Now, there are some really booger parts to it. I mean, there are some things, and there's some comical things with it. But overall, it's not that hard of an aircraft. But anyway, we do have that in the stable. Matter of fact, flew a couple days ago on stream. So, all right, I'm going to take over speed. Says cautiously. There it goes. Let's get slowed to 240 with the speed burn. And that's still there where it shows that right there. I wonder what causes that. I'm still not a big fan there, Hawker. It's just, it's just another airplane to fly. I am going to begin a second. Where's VS? There it is. Okay, let's get that dialed in now, the ILS. Hey, you all thought I forgot. Alright, ILS. Cat 1. 1091. Hang on. Speeds on track. Okay. Real quick. First off, set your mode to ILS, then go 10. 910. Punch it up. 113.8. Punch it up. Okay, so we got the ILS frequency in. Now let's put it in 016. Alright, I am now no longer under LNAV, nor VNAV, to be honest with you. Okay, we're going to keep tight rein here. We're below 10,000. Let's get those lights on. That's McConnell Air Force Base right there, folks. That's where the KC-46 is indeed based, and I think built quote me on that. There are a bunch of airports here, folks. Make sure you line up on the right one. Okay. All right, 1091, 16. Okay, is our heading on. Perfect. Currently, it is not alive. Should be coming alive here any minute. And with us coming in like this, let's go and set 220. Okay, and back to the checklist. All right, landing lights, seatbelts are on. Lights are on, seatbelts are on. V card. Let's go down here and get that real quick. Initial 30 146. Okay. Minimums are set. Speed brakes not yet. We're going to be using them to slow up here. Five miles to intercept. Gonna speculate that's our run. ILS is active. See that there's the localizer. Click that one. Glide slope just came in. Got your diamonds all in place. We'll be making that turn here in a moment. Welcome to Wichita.
1,000 to go.
2,500.
Stand by. Speed off. Turning in. You're now gear down. Looks like we overshot. Wichita traffic, FedEx 811 on the ILS, one left, full stop. Okay, plane's mine. Throttles are mine.
1,000.
Slow. Flight slow. Flight slow.
1,000 feet stabilized, Mr. Perch
Flight
altitude
slow.
7.
Flight slow. 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 Flight slow.
Approaching minimums.
Okay, here we go. Minimums landing. Okay, don't see Pappies.
40, 30, 20, 10.
Verse.
Knots.
Brakes off so we can get across the runway. All right, folks, and welcome in to Wichita. All right, let's just find us a good cargo parking spot. All right, about D2. So find D2. Find FedEx. I think that might have been it right behind us. No big. All right, let's bring it in. Okay, folks, we are in the blocks. I hope you enjoyed that flight. I have yet to see the landing results here, so hang on. Just getting rid of some things here. All right, so let's go back here and first off, finish up here. APU's available, so we'll go click and click. Okay, got the blue lights there. Leads on. Okay, engines throttling down. All right, final checks. Let's see, APUs, transponder, fuel pumps, and we're all right. Just waiting on them to come back, folks. 20 seconds. All right, they're starting to trickle back, so let's go take a look, shall we? All right, let me close up here with FedEx. Stop. And FDX 811. Okay, FedEx recorded the landing at 151 feet a minute, 127. Slow, but a decent landing nonetheless. Okay, now let's get Sim Toolkit. All right, you can see it has a recorded 205 feet a minute at 127 knots. That's a good landing, folks. Let me finish it. Let's go into it. Let's see what we did. All right, again, here's the routing. Few details. Hour and 20 minutes, 393 miles, burned 3,200 kilos of fuel, and 1.6 G's on that 205 foot a minute landing. I know we landed long, or at least it sure seemed like it. And we did. Almost outside the landing zone. All right. What is the landing zone? See these hash marks, folks? Where they end is the end of the landing zone. Starts at the threshold. Visually, we're aiming for these bars. So they're a very big target on the runway. That's what we're aiming for. Okay? Real quick visual, give you an idea what you're looking at. Okay, we landed almost 3,000 feet down the runway. Remember, it's 10,300 feet, so still had well over 7,000 feet to work with. We were left only 3.5 feet of the center line. So pretty much we touched down in the center. just 3,000 feet down. And like I said, we should have been around 140. We were 13 knots even slower, so we're starting to stall. Technically, that's what you want the plane to do, but not necessarily. All right, so there you have it, folks. That is the flight. Just getting rid of some more stuff here. All right, well, ATC is down. We're down. And I am going to do perfect. Alrighty. So it did load over here. And now let's see if we can't rewind. So far, so good. Good starting point. All right, here we go, folks. See how you have all of these lights? Yeah, that helps. And the weather's really nasty. Like a good landing to me. All right, look at that beautiful landing. Little wing dip, so yeah, little rough on that landing. Take a look out this side with that crescent moon out there. Here we come in. All right, one more time out. See what we can see from the tower. Nice. All right, folks. Well, we're going to call it. It's been a long day for me. Probably a long day for you. So, folks, thank you again for spending some of your evening with us. We sure appreciate it here at Flying with Mike. really liked what you saw, really want to be a part of the stream, smash that like button, be a part of the family. We really love to have you. Also, those of you over on the YouTube channel, we'd love you to smash subscribe and thumbs up. Lets us know you're there and lets you know when the next video is going to be out. All right, we're going to get in here, get the airplane all set up here. All right, there we go, folks. There's our cue. We're going to be heading out. We'll see you tomorrow about, like I said, 10, 11 o'clock Central Time. And we're going to have fun with the Flight Factor 767. It, too, just updated in the last couple of days, maybe a week or two. So we'll see what it's going to say, and I'll bet you it says your version is not up to date. You know, they just updated the flight sim. All right, so you all have a fantastic evening. Enjoy the rest of what we call the hump day. We're over the hump, folks, and starting downhill to the weekend. Hope you all have a great night. Stay safe. We'll see you tomorrow. God bless. We'll look for someone to hand this off to, but if not, God bless you all. We'll see you tomorrow. Everyone have a great night. God bless. We'll see you tomorrow. We're going to go ahead, send you over to Duluth Fly. Also X-Plane 12 and also in a 737-800. Good night.